Do it till you're satisfied. I just did it. And boom, just like that, we're live. Live and in color, and you're in multiple colors there, Ghost.
I figured I was going to kid up for you tonight, you know?
Yeah?
Why not?
Okay, good.
I'm back from the range, so.
Yeah? Oh, you're the guy that kits up to go to the range?
That's this guy.
Good. Well, I learned.
He's the only one who can afford ammo these days and can
Oh.
find ammo. Oh, my goodness. It's just.
You know, I have a lot of problems, but ammo ain't one of them.
Nice.
Yeah. So.
Well, welcome. Let's see. Let me put a banner up. Welcome to This Week at Gear Report. It's going to be an interesting show because I lost my way the past couple weeks, especially like this week. So, you know, it's there's not a lot to talk about in terms of you know, things that actually happened at Gear Report. I am quite embarrassed to say that my crusade to make sure everyone knows that North Carolina needs to be off lockdown, like since the day it started, it hit fever pitch this week, and that distracted me from my normal Gear Report duties. So I'm embarrassed to say that, actually, but it's the truth. And you know what? I'm going to be honest with everyone here. All right. So let's see who all's out there.
Pickle says he needs the link. Go figure.
Pickle?
That's what he says. He says he needs the live link. Apparently, he can't scroll back to April and find the link. Yeah, I'll email it to him real quick.
Awesome. This is interesting. I really expected him not to be here because he blew off his own show last night. He did. I was shocked. I was like, dude, you named the show after yourself and then you didn't even show up?
And there were some people that were upset about that. Just saying.
People's plural, Trey.
Okay, I know of one person that mentioned to me that they were upset. I assumed there would be more. So
here's the deal. Home Chicken has developed a bit of a following, and his shows are pretty good. So it was a letdown, I think, to some people that he didn't do it. Mining Ridge Armory's there. Chris Gherkin in the chat says, "Oh, Pickle's fired. Never mind. I clicked on the wrong one."
Okay, well, I just emailed it to him anyway, so whatever. That's
what he said. Please. Yeah. All right. Buck is with us. Good to see the God Loving Grandpa. Nighthog. Andrew Faulkner. Let's see. Who else has said something? Ghost said something. That's nice. Good to know Ghost is here. All right. Everyone, thank you. I see why he wanted.
Hi, guys.
Greetings.
How's quarantine life?
I knew there was a reason he wanted to be on. Oops.
Oh, that's all, Jeff. I escaped through the quarantine fields. I had to use some undercover. I don't know if you can see in the background.
Mm-hmm.
I had to use some undercover vehicles to get out here into the backcountry. I'm live in the great state of unlocked Maryland. Out here with the Jacks Are Better guys, the Dutchware guys, just kind of doing some gear testing and sitting around a campfire. You know, the things we all want to do this time of the year. So I apologize for blowing off my show yesterday, but I had to drive and had to get out.
I hear you.
At least it wasn't like a phone release.
Do
We're
what?
getting really bad audio feedback from you.
Trey, you got your wub wubs up too high.
Negative ghost right. Operating area.
Yeah. Here we go. I'm going to mute Pickle, and it goes away. As soon as we mute Pickle, it goes away. So that's something on your end, Chris.
I think he's on speakerphone, and it's probably reverbing through.
Uh-huh.
And he's talking. Yeah.
Yeah, I muted him. It's more fun that way.
That is.
All right.
Yeah, I'm on speakerphone due to being mobile.
Yeah.
So.
Well, if you have a headset or Bluetooth or anything you can hook up, that'd be good because we're getting crazy feedback. All right, we'll let him work on that while we make the rounds here. And I think Trey, I've got him muted on my end in StreamYard. He can unmute himself when he's ready, right?
I believe so.
Yeah. Okay.
I think he just did.
Maybe. Yeah. So, all right, let's go around the room real quick. The quick intros. We already have seen Pickle, our camping editor, out in the field. So, Trey, you want to say something to the peoples?
What's going on, guys? I'm Trey with Ghost Tactical, firearms contributor to Gear-Report or Gear-TACReport.com. I don't know, but no, thanks for having me. A Santa hat? I don't know.
Well, that's what I thought at first too. The little orange up there looked kind of like red.
Okay.
And
Okay.
it's like, wow, what? You saw me squinting when we came on.
To the walls, kind of give me a little backdrop. So.
I saw that. Yeah. Cool. All right. I think he gave up. Maybe he'll be back. If he can figure his audio out, he can come back. And if he can't, I guess he can still come back. We'll just keep him muted most of the time. So we've got a movement going on here. I've seen multiple comments. Please let Pickle know he's fired. I don't know about that. Let's give him a chance to work it out, and we'll see what happens.
I still think that give him a chance because he's made a point to get out and survive and to escape from Alcatraz. So that means something, you know.
Yeah. All right.
Oh, much better.
Yep, I'm better. Sorry.
No echo. That's awesome. All right, welcome back, man.
Yep.
So
Happy to be here.
we had Trey with an intro. We've already talked about Pickle. Toby, you want to say hi?
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening from wherever you are joining us from. Toby with Mountain Ridge Armory and Gear-Report, firearms contributor, review contributor. Thanks for the invite. Glad to be here.
Oh yeah, glad to have you.
Does that sound
All right.
professional enough? Was that good?
It did.
Yeah.
It did. The little request for affirmation. I thought Pickle was dry docking there for a second. I saw that the quick movement. I was like, oh, he's hitting the ground, but he didn't. So, yeah, it was a good save there.
Sorry, kids.
I think Buck had a legitimate question out there. Just saying, it's legitimate. He was watching the other night, apparently.
Okay, so and this is a good segue to talk about the Armed Citizen podcast on Tuesday. No, it is, because it was an entertaining show. So, yeah, and here's another reference from that show. So this was Ghost every Tuesday night. What time? You started at 8 Eastern, right? So like 7 your time?
7 Central, the real time zone. Yeah,
that's what I said. 8 Eastern. So, but if you have time on a Tuesday night to go catch that, you'll find it on the Ghost Tactical channel, and it's a pretty good discussion every week, and the topic was, what was it? Why are gun owners different or something like that?
The original topic, before you jumped in and took it way off the rails, the original topic was
something off the rails. What?
Right. Kidding. But, the original topic was basically why are we perceived it from non-gun owners as being like the different, paranoid, let's take over the government. And is there anything that we can do to maybe fight that? Because there are so many new gun owners. And we were trying to sit there and say they have a misconception maybe of who we are. So just because they bought a gun in the last 2 months doesn't mean they want to join the culture or the community. And maybe it's because of these preconceived notions of who we are. So now let's try to convert them and say, hey, we're not, well, not all of us. There are some out there, but for the most part, we're not that paranoid militia. Let's overthrow the government type group. That's what it was. And then you joined, and then it got into
this coming from the guy who's wearing a Santa Claus hat and a plate carrier, fully armed. I mean, just tossing that out there just randomly, right? So,
is he armed? Is he armed? Let's look a little closer here.
I'm not armed, and it's not a plate.
You got to get rid of the. There you go.
It's just my
get rid of the
H harness. It's not a carrier. It's just an H harness and an admin badge.
As he militia shames us and corrects us, it's not a plate carrier. It's a chest rig. Shame on y'all.
Right.
I can't overthrow the government with this. I have to use the other.
Yeah. I don't have anything to put these in, so
Yeah. But you got the pouch for your Pokemon cards. That's good.
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, right here.
All right.
There will actually. I can probably do a review on this thing. I've had this for a while, but it's kind of a cool little for people like to train that don't want to go and train with a plate carrier. This is I mean, had it for a while, but
training with plate carriers shakes out, but it does get tough after a minute. That's for sure.
It does. Now, a lot of people that when I go train, they'll wear the plate carriers, just not the plates. But for this is just something, like I said, it's just a skeleton H harness that's got rooms for handgun mags. You can put your dope book in here, or first aid kit or a tourniquet or whatever.
And what brand is that, Trey?
I don't know. I'll have to find the brand to do a review on it. But I might do a review on this since I haven't done it in a while.
You might as well. Yeah. Yep. So, I disagree that taking the plates out for training is valid. I think that's cheating, but that's okay. So anyhow, I wanted to get back to the Armed Citizen podcast. That it was pretty good, but yeah, we kind of went off the rails with the Manscaped and homeless Jeff. So I shaved just to be sure that it makes me look hungover and way older when I don't shave. So I'm sensitive about that.
Right now at all.
Yeah, I don't care about the male pattern baldness. Doesn't matter to me, but the looking that I don't like that. Okay, so anyhow, that was a good show, and I was actually listening to it today. So this morning I was out in the garage working on the car before work.
Toby was in there. He was on the show.
Yep. And I was playing.
Speaking of male pattern baldness.
Yeah. And then I just finished it. Right, but shut up, Pickle. So I just finished watching it again.
It's gray, but it's there.
Yeah. All right, so let's move on to what we're supposed to be doing here. Oh, is he here? Look at that.
And you just sent it to the other email.
Hey, I just you are live now, Randall. So you're here with us, and you may want to turn the light off behind you because it's kind of washing you out. The overhead light.
I know, then it's dark, so I'm trying to figure out how.
All right, I'm gonna mute you while you figure it out. All right, I invited my one of my mini-me's to join me this evening, and he is working out the technical aspects of this. Actually, I'm going to remove him until he gets that sorted out, and then I'll bring him back. So while he is doing that, we will, where is it? We'll go to share screen, application. Nope, Chrome tab. All right, so we should be on the Gear Report homepage now. Excellent. So ostensibly what we do at This Week at Gear Report is two things. We look at reviews that have been published this week, and we talk about things that are upcoming. I just kind of got us derailed before we even started. So let's get back on track real quick. And Toby actually is the only one who's published this week. So good job, Toby, for being on the ball and actually doing something, unlike me, for example. So if you'd like to give us your kind of high level look at what did you think of this Wheeler Ultra Scope mounting kit?
So I think, you can scroll down a little bit there and get the gear review rating on it, overall. But, the reality of it is, man, it's all inclusive. It's everything you need for almost any skill level, for somebody who's wanting to mount scopes and do it quasi professionally, or like a professional would do it. It's got pretty much everything you need all in one box. One of the beautiful side notes to it is that it's kind of modular too. And what I mean by that is each individual part that's inside of that setup. Now, I don't know if you can click on that picture right there you've got highlighted now and make it larger.
I can't.
Okay. Okay. Yep. We fail at websites. So individually they have those parts broken out. So like, say for example, you want to get the fat torque wrench, you can buy just that. You just want to get the higher quality levels, you can get just that, and so on and so forth. So that kit contains it all, and it has literally almost everything you would need, from novice all the way to professional, along with pretty distinct and easy to follow instructions. So I was happy with it. I'll be using it a lot.
Awesome.
He likes it a lot.
A lot. I
like it a lot. All right. Is anyone else hearing like a female voice pop in every now and then?
I think that's Pickle.
That might be me. That might be my audio picking up other people at the campsite.
You ever on a phone call and you start to hear blips of someone else's phone call?
Come on.
That's what I thought I was hearing.
Come say hi, Crystal. Yes, they're hearing a female voice pop in and out. Come say hi.
Pickles never looked so good on camera before. It's always completely blocked out by the banner. Uh-oh, he's gone.
Yeah, I pulled him out by accident. I was trying to put him front and center here. There he is.
Let's see, we've got Alex and Crystal with Dutchware.
Greetings.
We've got, there's a Jax Arbetter. There's a Mrs. Jax Arbetter. There's a Jax Arbetter. Oh, I'm popping around. So
I'm a little disappointed, Pickle, that you're not in a hammock right now. Just saying.
I think he's going to get in his hammock, apparently.
He is.
all right, my audio just dropped.
Let
me hop out and hop back in the chat.
All right, and we'll go back to the screen share. Let's see, stop, share screen. All right, so we're back at the website and the other review. Thank you, Toby, for actually working this week and getting some content created. The Wheeler one-piece cantilever scope mount with a little add-on, it looks like there.
Yeah, that's it's a level. So when you're doing distance shooting, you can keep it level because it makes a difference the further out you get, obviously. And that's just a little flip down. You can mount it upside down, upper or lower on the receiver, but there's really only one way that it mounts correctly. I gave it a 3.5 out of 5 instead of 4. only because of the throw lever, that it's like it would have pushed it way over the top. And that's just me saying 20 elbows and being picky and that kind of thing. But it was a really solid contender. It was a really good platform to work with. When I lapped it using the lapping kit that I bought with my own money, I didn't, I'm such a believer in the Wheeler tools now at this point that I use my own funds to buy the lapping tool. When I did that, it did lap off some material. So that said, though, it didn't lap off much. You can see from the image there where it lapped
Yeah.
off 4 distinct rings on both the front and the rear. Overall, man, it was just a solid mount. I gave it a 3.5 just because of the fact that if you could put throw levers on it or quick detach levers on it, it would be king of kings, so to speak. So
Yeah, it looks like a really heavy, beefy scope mount.
it is indeed. And it, another thing, and this is going to be me and my problem. It's nothing to do with the scope mount. It's at all, or the scope or the rifle is, me getting it centered on the upper, just where it needs to be in order to mount that big, huge, humongous piece of glass. It's
Yeah.
pretty much taken all the real estate. So there's no room for, a quarter throw. I'm going to have to use my quarter throw for the Crimson Trace CTS 1400, probably off the fore end. And that is not optimum, but it is what it is.
Right. Awesome.
Now he's hanging with Pickle.
Yeah, we're hanging with Pickle.
Yeah. Nice.
In my summertime backpacking rig, my Trailheads Wraith with the Dutchware Gear DCF Dyneema Cuban Fiber Winter Tarp, or tarp with doors. Jack's Better Shenandoah Underquilt, Cedar Ridge Gear Fontana Top Quilt. The whole rig, so my entire sleep system weighs in just a hair under 4 pounds. So think about that, Trey, for your rucking and the times you had to carry the heavy packs. I'm at 4 pounds for everything outside of food, water, and so on and so forth.
That's pretty awesome, actually.
So
Excellent. So let's see. Randall's back. Thank you for joining us. We will get into the next segment here in a second, where we talk about upcoming reviews on Gear Report, and maybe I can persuade Randall to do some work. I feed him, so yeah, I think it's reasonable to expect that he does some work, right?
Some of the families got to. I'm just saying.
Ain't that the truth? Yeah. Yeah, can't be just my wife and no one else. But yeah, so JMA mentioned he ordered the PSA AKV, and that's something I don't think we have reviewed an AKV, although Caleb went out to the big reveal thing that PSA did. It was 2 years ago almost. They flew a handful of media types out to Wyoming, I think it was, to I'm blanking on the name of the ranch now, High Bar Homestead. And he got to shoot a couple of the prototypes and maybe one of the first production models of the AKV, the little 9mm AK variant. And then later we were touring the PSA R&D facility there in Columbia, South Carolina, and saw some of their initial drawings and prototypes that they had worked on along the way. That was pretty cool. And then we went to the range, and I'm trying to remember if we shot a full auto AKV. I'm thinking we did, but to be completely honest, I have a crappy memory, so it could have been something. I know we shot a PSA 223 that was full auto, but regardless, I really enjoyed it. I think that's the only time I shot one was there at their range at one of the Columbia stores, I think it was, and it was a very soft shooting, and it ran great. His video made me buy it. Awesome, yeah. Well, JMA, you have to let us know when you get that in how it works for you, because You know, I know that the only one that I've shot was, you know, one of their internal models that, you know, you'd like to say that everything that they make has the same level of attention to detail, but I also suspect that the one that they keep there, actually, I don't know if that was one in their rental fleet or if they grabbed that out of the R&D room before we went over there. I don't remember, but anyhow.
I wonder if JMA would be interested in doing a little guest review and for
Ooh,
just saying.
yeah. You know, if that's something that he's interested in, you can just send a note to Jeff at Gear Report, and we will make that happen. Yeah, I'm down for that.
I'm supposed to be getting, I don't know, it could be a week, it could be 6 months. I don't know. I'm supposed to be getting a Ruger PC charger, and I am looking forward to shooting that. That thing is, I'm looking at, that's one of the few guns that I've really been like excited about in the last couple of years. Really looking forward to that. Now, have you shot, you said you shot the full auto AKV. Have you ever shot like the full auto AK of any time before that?
Yeah, couple times.
Because full auto AKs are a blast for me to shoot. I love full auto AKs.
Yeah, and you know, speaking of which, it reminds me, Lee Armory had one out at the Antares event year before this one, so last year, and we shot that and actually posted a video. You can go out to Gear Report and find Lee Armory full auto AK-47 video out there.
Yep.
And
that was the first time I shot an AK.
I must have missed that one.
Yeah. Well, the video's out there if anyone wants to go find it. And after that, and after talking to Mario at Lee Armory, I decided I had an AK kit that M+M Industries had sent me, and they sold the kit without the receiver or the barrel. So when they sent me the kit, they had some barrels, so they sent me a barrel, and Palmetto actually sent me an AK receiver. And then Alan at Quarter Horse Arms did a Form 2 on it, so it's a post sample, and we built it, and we actually had to send it to Lee Armory to fix something, and I haven't seen it in a long time, and I'm wondering if my full auto AK-47 is done. If they have been repairing it.
They probably forgot about it.
Yeah, I need to ask Alan because he was arranging that. Yeah, it's definitely different. I don't know that I have shot a Riley Defense AK-74. I don't think so. The name sounds vaguely familiar, but it's not one that I have shot. All right, so
I hate to interrupt, but I'm gonna have to drop off. I'm running out of battery light and running out of daylight. So,
all right.
A few things I need to button up here around camp before campfire shenanigans.
I don't understand what I know of the times I've camped with Pickle and what he talks about on his show, which is normally Thursdays at 7, is the moment his back hits the inside of the hammock, he's out.
I'm fighting that too.
I see you fading already, so yeah.
I'm fighting that too. I mean, this Trailheads Wraith is hands down one of the most comfortable hammocks I've ever been in. So
awesome. All right. Well, thanks for joining us. We appreciate it.
Yeah. Thanks for shooting me the link, Trey. Good to see you guys. I hope you guys can get out into the woods, get out of the house, get out of the quarantine. Maybe one day North Carolina will come back to the United States of America and open up.
Have fun, brother. Be safe.
Yep. Y'all be good.
All right. All right. I'm assuming this comment from Andrew Faulkner is referring to that Riley Defense AK-74. Not out yet. Should be in a month or so, but he'll be picking one up also. So, yeah, interesting. I'll have to look into that one. The AK side of the house is not something that I've spent a lot of time with, so I probably need to do a little bit better there. All right. So who has anything coming up that they want to talk about as far as pending reviews?
I mean, I know I've been saying this for, I mean, I've got so many things, but with right now, I mean, I don't know when they're going to get here. So I don't know.
Hold that thought.
Okay.
Hold that.
I don't either. Yeah, so interesting. But you don't have anything in hand that you're working on. You're just waiting on stuff to show up.
I'm pretty much done. I've taken the pictures and the video and stuff. I'm done with the belt comparison between the core essentials and the next belt. So that'll probably be done the written side of things next week. I'll probably coincide that with the video drop as well. I've got the Surefire muzzle brake and blast regulator that I'm pretty much done. I shot the final B-roll today when I was at the range, so I got that coming out. So I've got those two that'll probably be out in the next week to 10 days. Both of them will be out. One might be able to get both of them next week. If not, I'll at least get one out next week. Probably get the belt out first, but I've got that. And then I've got, like I said, I got 4 or 5 firearms and optics and all sorts of stuff coming in. I just don't know when they're going to get here, which is cool. I get it. I mean, I understand. I'm not complaining, but you know, what's going to happen is instead of getting one at a time, I'm going to get all of them at once and not be able to do everything I want to do with them all. You know, that's probably what I'm worried about.
Right. Yeah, well, that's the way it tends to work. That's certainly what happened to Toby. He had gotten to where he had almost nothing left in the queue. And then all of a sudden, he got absolutely flooded with stuff.
Right.
All right, looks like he's back. So, Toby, are you ready? We're going to switch over to Toby and see if he's ready to talk. I'm not hearing him, so I'm going to move on to show you something. Yeah, we'll come back to you. You're
all right,
okay.
good deal.
So something that I'm going to start, you know, in theory, I'm going to start working on the field portion of the review for this soon. From Combat Flip-Flops, the MK19, which I thought was a clever name, black high tops, and these really remind me of the old Chuck Taylors. So,
they do.
Yep. And what's the what's the neck wrap that people wear over in the Middle East? What's that called?
A shemagh.
Say it again.
Shemagh.
Shemagh. Okay. Okay. So anyhow, they sent one of those that is all American looking, and apparently it was literally made in Afghanistan. And the shoes, I want to say it said Columbia. I actually meant to bring them up with me. But I forgot and left them down. I leave them by the door. Yeah, made in Bogota. So I'll have to pull the insoles out, see if there's anything smuggled into the country underneath them. But
so I don't know if it's too soon, but thank God they sent you that shemagh. It'll help you here in North Carolina. You can wear it when you're out in public as a mask, right? So.
Oh, I hadn't thought about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. About shemaghs, you can do so much with them. They really can.
Huh. So if I weren't just adamantly opposed to wearing any kind of mask, I would consider doing that.
Yeah, that's kind of why I was poking.
Yeah, I thought as much. So, all right, I will stop screen sharing. So those of you who know me know that I don't wear shoes very often. So it's going to be interesting, especially black in the summer. The way my feet sweat. I don't know when I'm going to be able to wear those for the next few months. They were supposed to be here a couple months ago when it was cooler out. But, you know, as we were talking about, sometimes when stuff goes in the queue for review, you don't know when it's going to show up. So I'm going to have to get out and wear those at some point. But, yeah, so that'll be interesting. That is something that has just arrived recently. All right, we will stop sharing the screen there. And now, Toby, are you ready? You want me to make your screen bigger here?
Sure, that'd be fine.
Boom.
So since YouTube won't allow me to touch things while I'm on the internet, I will just kind of leave stuff lying around. But so Boyd's has sent several of us reviewers they offered to send the Spike Camp stocks. Boyd's has literally hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of variations of their different stocks. And if you then toss in the 20 or so different real actual wood, grain stock or designs that they have to pick from, it may even range up in the thousands. God, I don't know. They make those on order when you make them or when you request them. In my case, I requested it for my Savage Mark II FVSR. And so I've just got it mounted up this week. I took a bunch of good B-roll video, took a bunch of good photographs and stuff with it out on some rocky terrain and so on. I haven't gotten out to try it yet, although I don't think I don't know how I'm going to miss out on this one or how this one's going to be, anything negative to say about it. I'm going to have to probably stretch for something negative to say about it. But I did have to, here's something negative I could say, but it's not really negative on the Boyd Spike Camp stock. I can't turn it over, but pay attention when the video posts about this trigger. And up in here, if you'll pay attention, there's a company called Diversified Innovative Products, DIP, Diversified Innovative Products, that makes aftermarket parts for things such as this. So, for example, when I moved my Savage Mark II FVSR over to this stock from the crappy stock that it came with, the gun's an amazing gun. It's actually one of the most scary, accurate 22 long rifles I've ever seen. But the stock that it comes with is kind of crap. It's just synthetic and it's one piece and that kind of thing. That said, it didn't have a separate trigger guard, so I had to put the bill for a Diversified Innovative Products trigger guard, and then also a plate to cover where the magazine goes. And while I was at it, I figured, what the heck, let's get a compensator that's specifically designed for the FVSR. So the Boyd Spike Camp stock is so far is gravy. But for my particular case, which again, this isn't a knock on Boyd's at all. For my particular case, I had to buy aftermarket products to make it fit into the stock. And I'll talk about the fitment and just the feel and the function and all that as I go through the review. But I'm going to go and start capturing some more footage on that and hopefully get that posted up pretty quick.
But generally speaking, the Spike Camp is Boyd's new kind of. It starts at $100.
It's literally $99. That's right, unless you get something crazy on it. And I can't touch it on YouTube. But back here at the back, let's see if I can get my finger. Back here at the back, what you can't see is that actually comes with a really nice rubber shoulder pad already in it. That thumb hole is cut to be ambidextrous, so lefty, righty doesn't matter. The fitment on it was, I don't want to give away too much before I get to the review, but yeah, this one's their $99 model, and they kind of work up from there. This one, they at SHOT Show apparently decided to go the exact opposite direction from what they had done in the past. And what they had done in the past is went for the higher end stuff, the custom, the long range shooters, hey, I want a $500 stock for my $1,000 gun. That kind of thing. And they went the exact hard opposite to try to get to the mass market and try to sell in bulk to those, or in quantity rather, I should say, and make profit that way. But again, they're not mass producing these things ahead of time. They're making them by hand using good wood grain when you order it to the color standard and to the rifle that you want. So yeah, that $99 price range. Again, I don't want to give away the review of it, but I will say it's worth $99. We'll put it there.
Okay, awesome. I know TJ has got one, and I want to say that AJ, I think he was on the list to get one as well. I'm thinking we had 3 writers, because when they sent me the note and said, hey, this is new, it's a big deal, we really want to get it out there, I'm pretty sure I sent them a list of 3 people to send to. And I know TJ was pretty thrilled with his and already posted some pictures of it. I think maybe I just saw them in his draft of the review he's working on, but we'll have multiple reviews on that Boyd's Gun Stocks Spike Camp. And you can find a couple other Boyd's reviews out there on Gear Report as well. We've got a good working relationship with them.
Yeah, I think JJ did one for his 22 long rifle project,
That's
maybe, or
right.
something.
That's right. He got a couple stocks from them. Every single stock they've sent us has been just really, really nice, of the ones that I put my hands on. So
Yeah, and again, I don't want to give away my review because I'm giving away, but man, I'm loving it so far. I'm not gonna lie. You know, I don't know that I'm gonna change very much to it. It already came with, again, I can't touch it, you know, but it came with the swing, the swivels already in it, the swivel adapters on the front and the rear. So all I had to do was just throw my sling on there. You know, again, I can't. I got to stop talking about it, but you can already kind of see where I'm leaning towards for this one.
it's all right.
A positive
I'm
review.
gonna guess like a 1.5 years. I mean,
It sucks really bad. You know, it sucks. They should send me 3 more so I can. Because this one sucks so bad that I need to try the different ones. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing the full review on that. All right. So we're making our way around the room, and the side chat is kind of getting interesting over here.
I'm not really sure. You know,
Disturbing, I think, is probably the right word.
Yes.
I said interesting. I'm going to go with disturbing, and even more disturbing. So, yeah.
you know,
We're
I'm
just
gonna be shooting. Bucks, Gun Loving Grandpa, and Nighthawk are coming to my range Sunday, and we're gonna do some shooting. We're gonna find out if he has nail polish on. There will be an after report. Just saying.
Yeah. All right. We'll give us something to look forward to for next week.
Really? If that's what you have to look forward to, then we got some serious issues.
Yeah, well, we've known that. So, all right. As we make our way around the room, Randall has not been on one of these before,
I'm sorry.
and may not know that there's a private chat tab where I asked if he had anything to talk about, and he didn't answer. So I'm going to ambush him here. And so we're in the upcoming reviews section where we talk about any products that have come in that we're going to work on to review. Do you have anything in your review queue? You don't have to like put your hands on it and show it, but anything that is in your queue that you might be working on. And I say you do not have to. You do not have to get it out.
I have to look to see if I do.
I've got an ink pen in here, some scissors. I got all sorts of stuff in here.
Yeah.
I got a screwdriver. I mean, what do you need?
Yeah. All right. So, hand sanitizer. You know, I saw. You know what? I've got to. We got to keep this quiet. We're all locked down here in North Carolina, but they're in our phase 1 of reopening. If what is it? Summer camps? No, day camps. If someplace has a day camp for kids that has swimming involved, they can reopen their pool. So my daughter's swim team is doing a day camp now, so they can go get in the pool, and they do some dry land stuff. They do swimming. On the way there, I saw on the side of the road someone has one of those little pop-up tent things, like where you get the Trump shirts and signs and stuff, and roses on Valentine's Day and all that. They have hand sanitizer in gallon buckets, and I was like, "Wow, okay."
Business.
So if anyone needs some, over by the old Sears in Burlington, North Carolina, you can get hand sanitizer by the gallon. Apparently, Randall has something to talk about because I'm seeing tons of motion there. So I've been stalling for you, brother. What do you have for us? What are you going to be working on?
I just set up another light so my vid could be seen.
Light?
Yeah.
Okay.
I have knives I've been holding out for reviewing for 3 years, so they're probably not any use in reviewing them now.
Well, as much as you used them,
yeah.
the kind, it wasn't 3 years. It feels like it was 6 years, but it was actually
Year and a half.
more than a year. And
it was,
may have stressed the relationship with Buck Knives because those haven't been reviewed yet. But I think it'd probably be good if we get those done.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else that you want to work on Is that one of them? That's one of the BSA branded buck knives?
Yeah.
All right.
I
Trey, are we
can't.
allowed? That isn't considered a weapon for YouTube, right? I hope not. Are you threatening me? Wrong side. Sorry. Went straight through, apparently. Yeah, camera's backwards for me.
No,
Yeah.
I think. No, knives. It just can't be firearms. All it is firearms. So technically, if you wanted to, like, if you wanted to take an upper and hold it and show the upper, that's not a firearm because the lower is what serialized. So, technically, you could. Whether or not they are knowledgeable about that is, I don't think they are, but they just say that you can't handle fire. Depends on how technical you want to get, but no, knives are good to go.
Got it. All right, we may have to do more of those. All right, I muted him while he was walking. Were you getting something to show us, Randall?
Yes.
All right.
This is something you ran over.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
If it'll work. He ran over a lantern from. I have another one here from Vaunt. And it still works, but all of the show was decimated.
Ran over it with the
is it the Humvee? Yes, you were telling me about all the things you ran over.
So that is that's something that Randall helped me with. Humvee Versus is what I'm going to call it, and I put a little test video out there that's terrible. It just has the Humvee running over a couple things. It was working on camera angles, and I put it up to get feedback from people, and the feedback that I got, some offline, a little bit online, was basically, yeah, maybe if your camera angles are better. So Randall helped me set that up. And one of those little, I think it has 2 or 3 AAA or AA batteries. I don't remember. It's a little lantern that you pop up, and we ran over it. And as we stopped and pulled it off to the side, I'm like, wait a second, it's still on. You know, the whole case, everything was completely crushed, but the little emitter pack and battery pack were still attached and the lights were still on. So
the plastic degraded to the point where I have to hold it in place for it to actually remain on.
But it was run over forward and backwards by the Humvee.
That's awesome.
And completely destroyed for all outward appearances, but it clearly still worked there. So thank you for sharing that.
Is that the same thing that was stuck on the Humvee inside the tire well for 6 months?
No, that was the Streamlight Stinger switchblade here. That's still, it's got a couple little stress cracks in it in a few places on the clear lenses, but it still works like a champ. And
yes, it does.
Yeah, it's a little blood light here. They call it the little UV light, I guess, is for like if you're in an automotive environment and you're looking for leaks, you can put the UV dye in and it'll help you find the leaks. But all right, I'm gonna have to mute him again. All right, if you're gonna be moving around making noise, you gotta mute yourself, brother. All right. Well, that's good. I'm glad he was able to join us for this. Let's see. We'll get back to the banners, and I think we are wrapping up the meat of the show and moving on to the generic shooting portion where we just kind of talk about whatever. So this is a great time if you have any thoughts or comments or questions or anything that you want to put in the chat. Now's a great time to talk about it. This is kind of cold. Ghost Tactical, when are you going to run over something in your H3?
I'm afraid that I don't have enough power in the engine to climb over anything. So I'm trying to play towards Jeff because Jeff says, they're just worthless. So I'm afraid that if I run over a stick, I may not have enough power to
So you're trying to
Over-
play to the guy who doesn't even own any Hummers whatsoever of any kind, of any generation, 1, 2, 3, none of them. Interesting.
I didn't
Why
say-
would you be placating that guy?
Hmm.
Hmm. About that.
Yeah.
You know, if you guys didn't see the video of Show Us Your Humvee with featuring my H3, you know, you guys saw me crossing some like seriously dangerous creeks and all of that. So I mean, you know,
It was impressive.
it was impressive.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, here's another fine example of the stuff happening out in the chat right now. You can juggle grenades, but an unloaded firearm or a no-go. I don't even know what that means, but I feel like the side chat may have been more interesting than parts of our show. But
I didn't miss it.
yeah, it is pretty typical, I guess. So thanks everyone.
This is where the show gets good, is right here.
Yeah, I know. Well, this is when Armed Citizen gets good. Is towards the end, typically, I think, or maybe not.
Really?
Stuck in a pothole. Look at that. It's just too easy. And just to clarify, Toby, I own a military Humvee. I'm just not
Prove
able
it.
to go pick it up yet. They won't let me go get it.
Prove it.
Prove it. Yeah, I mean, is it in your driveway or
Possession is 99/10 of the law. You have no
what Trey
possession.
said? Yep, what Trey said. I gotta agree.
I know. It's terrible. I feel emasculated. JMA hitting steel at 1,900 yards today with a 6.5 Creedmoor. That's a long way.
That is for anybody. That's over a mile. Was a mile what? 1,500, 1,700, maybe somewhere in there. Yeah.
Wow.
That's
That is
over
a
a
long
mile.
way.
And a 6.5 Creed. Now I can see 338 Lapua, obviously a 50 408, but a 6.5 Creed at 1,900 yards. That I wonder if that's kind of pushing the max range or not. I don't know what the max range of a 6.5 is, but
I don't either. I know. I felt
1,900
pretty accomplished.
is impressive. That's impressive.
The longest I've shot a 6.5 Creedmoor was 1,152 yards, something like that. And it was shooting at a huge, it was out at the NRA Whittington Center. They've got a big buffalo that's like 9 foot wide and 8 foot tall or something. And you're aiming at a plate on it that's probably 2 foot diameter, 2.5. But yeah, I felt pretty good about making that shot. But then 1,900, that's real shooting. Yeah, good work.
The longest shot I've ever hit was 1,200. That was a 338. The longest I've ever hit with a 6.5 Creed is right at 1,000. So 1,900 yards with a 6.5. Holy cow!
Oh,
that's
he
impressive.
cheated. He cheated. He had a tailwind. That's like 800 yards without a tailwind, or not. Yeah. No, that's an excellent shot. Definitely.
That's an awesome shot.
Wow. Yeah. So I'm gonna have to get something out and shoot here pretty soon. So
I don't have access to 19. I don't even have. I have access to 800 officially. They say it could be pushed out to 1,000, but without leaving the state, I don't have anything over 1,000.
the state's got to be bigger than that.
It's a small state, man. I mean, I have to stand on the Missouri border to get 1,000 yards to southern Arkansas,
Right. All right.
I'd have to actually go up to Tulsa to the U.S. Shooting Academy. They've got some really long range stuff out there, and that's only a few hours away. So that'd be fun to go do sometime.
Yeah, I'd be down for that. Randall, what's the longest? What's the furthest you've shot?
Not far.
Not far. You don't know?
100 yards.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Yeah. Okay, so JMA said took him 120 rounds. You know what? And I'm okay with you leaving that part off at the beginning.
Yeah.
I would have. Why not? Right? Yeah. Yeah, I don't care. Hey, if you made that hit,
that's together. I mean, it's not important. You hit a 1,900-yard shot. It doesn't matter.
man. Yeah. So, so Trey, you said you're going to shoot this weekend. Toby, you have big plans on the range this weekend?
Yeah, fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. I don't want to jinx myself. I'm hoping to zero in the Titan this weekend finally. I mean, beyond, I've four-sided it with the Wheeler's Ultra scope mounting kit that we just did the review for, and I did the Scope Mountain 101 video on. But fingers crossed, I'm going to get it zeroed out at 100 this weekend. And then I'm also going to try to shoot this Boyd Spike Camp with the 22 long rifle, make sure I didn't mess up my zero on the scope for it. And then I've got like a ton of crap to do on the honey-do list and some work to do on my tractor where I jacked it up a little bit. So
that sounds wonderful.
Yay, tractors are expensive to work on. So you want to do you should have a what grinds my gears segment instead of just shit shooting. You need a what grinds my gears segment. So let me tell you what grinds Toby's gears about Mahindra tractor parts. Actually, you know what? It's not even Mahindra. John Deere, Mahindra Red, doesn't matter what color it is. It could be, whatever. Massey Blue, it don't matter. They rando charge exuberant amounts of money for parts that you could literally make from Tractor Supply with a tack welder and buy a tack welder from scratch and still come out cheaper. So the two stabilizer arms for my 3-point hitch back at the back that goes down to not the lift arm, but down below to the two stabilizing arms. Kind of lost one, and then the other one broke when I was swinging a bush hog last weekend. To buy the factory default ones, $220 a piece, $440 to buy two stabilizer arms. You can buy, just to put it in perspective, you can buy this twisty hole in one end, hole in the other end, chain universal stabilizer for like $30 for tractors. Okay, just to put it in perspective. So $440 is what grinds my gears. Just because you got a tractor's company wanting to weld with Toby. That's right. Yeah. Hey, listen, I can gorilla weld.
Yeah.
Ugly as poop, but strong as a gorilla. You got it. So
ugly as what?
I said poop because we're on Facebook and I don't want to use the word shit because they might. Yeah.
I wasn't aware what this term was. So
poop, shit, crap. Shinola, whatever.
Now you're speaking my language. Now I am
fecal matter. My welds look like fecal matter. But point is, yes, I hope to see ugly as poop. Hey, listen, North Carolina terminology and dog training terminology. Go poop, boy. Go poop.
It's gonna be a weekly set.
What grinds Toby's gears? Hang on, let's see. Yeah.
He says shit shooting, but yet you're going to say poop. Just saying.
Fair enough. Yeah, fair enough. I actually had a meme for that somewhere. I don't know what I've done with it, but
Wait, a lot of these subtitles are already pre.
Yeah, I've got like 2,608 subtitles already written, just in case.
Just in case someone says, let's grind
so if you see that I'm like distracted, I'm scrolling the whole list. Like, I know it's in here somewhere.
Yeah. Wait, hang on.
And it takes about 2 seconds to add another one if you have to. So
keep talking. I got to send that one to me.
So, all right, good. We're going to change the title of this segment to Deep Thoughts. All right. So
lowered expectations.
How you doing?
You had the Deep Thoughts pose. I thought something good was coming there.
I'm a Marine. I'm not smart enough to have deep thoughts.
No.
I eat crayons for lunch. What are you talking about?
All right. Budget says farthest he ever shot was 1,000. Savage Axis in 308. 1,000 with a 7.6239 AK-47. That sounds like a rainbow shot almost.
Like, I mean, are you letting it fall in from gravity on the gong?
It's like halo jumping, only from the ground with a rifle.
I mean, okay, so 5.56. They say that the max effective is about 600. The max range is about 800. But I've seen a 5.56 hit at 1,000 yards. Once again, it's still moving. I mean, it's moving fast enough that it's going to hurt you. But it definitely was on the downward left legs of it. But it can reach. So I guess I've never seen an X39 out to 1,000. But I'd like to see that. I wasn't sure that it could reach 1,000, honestly.
Yeah.
Awesome.
All right. So we got a question here. A couple questions we'll get to. Who wants to tackle what's a good scope to shoot 1,000 yards, mid-price range? Mid-price range. Yeah, exactly. What is that?
It could be 2,000. I don't know what your top price range is. You're looking like a $500 to $750. I mean, is that what we're talking about? Maybe.
It's probably what I'd say. Yeah.
Like I tell you, if you're looking for something that, and it depends on what kind of focal plane you're looking. If you're looking for first or second focal plane, because that's going to kind of vary the price as well too. But I would say if you're looking for something that is budget friendly, but is still going to have really clean, clear glass and a good reticle and all that. Burris makes some pretty good rifle scopes, and they're not going to break the bank. So if you're looking for something that is going to work, but yet leaves you money for ammo, let's say, I've had good luck with Burris stuff. I don't know if you guys have ever used any of their stuff or not.
Yeah. I'm trying to, I keep typing the wrong thing here. I want to bring up one of the Burris scope reviews that we had, if I can find it, but apparently I can't spell, so I'm going to abandon that effort and say you can go look on Gear Report. I want to say it was a 4500 was the model that Tom reviewed that several years ago on a AR-10 in 308 maybe, and he really liked it. He was Tom was a glass snob, definitely, and he understood all of the science of refraction and all the different coatings and what they all did, and I couldn't keep up with him, but anyhow, he liked that one.
Can you see my screen share?
Oh,
there you go. There's your segment right there.
That's a little disturbing.
That's a face for radio, baby. Face for radio.
Amen, brother.
Yeah.
There you go.
All right. Let's see. We're just going to get away from that one.
That's kind of like Steve Austin esque looking like.
It was, wasn't it?
You know, funny enough, you're not far from wrong. So the background image for that is the what is it, Peter Griffin on the what's that show called, the South Park Family Guy. So that's him, and it's a What Really Grinds My Gears TV show or whatever, something. But hang on, let's see if I can find the original. Let's see if I can find the original picture that it came from. Speaking of Steve Austin, hold that thought for a second.
While you're looking,
Yeah.
G-Webs chimed in, and I saw G-Webs in there earlier. Was going to say hi and got sidetracked. So good to see you, G-Webs. Shooting 1,000 yards on a budget is like getting into wines, but only buying bottles with, I'm going to guess that's screw tops, in my opinion.
Screw tops? Okay.
Are screw tops better or worse than the boxes? And just asking for a friend.
I actually like box wine. Box wine's not terrible. I don't like most screw tops, but I could enjoy a nice box wine every now and then.
Yeah, so G mentioned something here. Oh my goodness, why do we have this on here?
There you go. So that's where the original picture came from. where I pulled it in.
Aha.
So you mentioned the whole Steve Austin look or whatever. There you go. So that's where the original photograph came from.
And was
whoa,
that
whoa. There you go. So Steve Austin in the
that's
background there.
Ultimate Warrior, is it not?
That is indeed. That is Ultimate Warrior, and
I'm not a big wrestling fan. It's one of my favorites.
apparently that's a legitimate actual belt that was held by Hulk Hogan or something. Very, very long story behind this picture, but at any rate, point is, you ain't far from wrong with the Steve Austin part of it. And so I just spliced in that face into the What Grinds My Gears with Peter Griffin. So
You should have kept the belt on the picture.
scary,
right.
isn't it?
Buck is trying to derail us even more and make this an even classier show with some Mad Dog 2020. So awesome. Appreciate that.
Boone's Farm, Strawberry Hill. Just saying, just throwing it out there. Now, I did as a youngster, I did enjoy and got intoxicated on many occasions with Boone's Farm, Strawberry Hill, which is a screw top wine, and it's about as bad as it gets. But yeah, Boone's Farm was the deal. 16, 15.
Yeah, and you could carry it in your purse.
I could. Mm-hmm. I had a big purse though. Mm-hmm.
So G-Webs. I was going to go ahead and deflect just to get off of that topic before you admitted anything else on air that you didn't really want to. But G-Webs made a good point that once because we were talking about mid-range optics, once you really get into something more quality, it'll change the way you look at things, you know. Because everyone talks about, how can I get a budget scope, a cheap scope, and I thought, why would I pay over $1,000? And then you look through one, and it's like, oh, I get it now. But
the Trigicons, the Night Forces, the Loopholds, it's not just the internal workings of it, but it's also the glass. Like, a lot of that Japanese glass that they're paying high dollar for to put in those scopes, people think it's glass is glass. If you look down a Burris and you look through a Night Force, you're going to see a different clarity, 100%.
Right. Yeah. So if you're hunting, and this is something that I didn't realize, because I haven't hunted my whole life. I know a lot of people that they were deer hunting before they even really knew what they were doing. Like Dad drug them out in the woods and said, quit crying about the recoil, and they've been hunting ever since then. Dad hold the gun up for them and they'd pull the trigger. That wasn't me. I got into it really late, and I was carrying what was it, Center Force or something, like the Walmart scope that I had, and you get in that early in the morning, like right at that civil twilight where there's just a little bit of light, or you get late in the evening where you're those last couple minutes of shooting light. If you've got a crappy scope that isn't passing light, it doesn't have a good light transmission, you're done 10, 15 minutes before everyone else. And especially in the evening where we are, where I hunt in North Carolina, those deer, man, I'm telling you, oftentimes they don't move until right at the end of shooting light. And if you're on a crappy scope, your odds just went down dramatically. You may spend a couple hours out there, and then when they finally walk out, you're still legal, but you can't see well enough through the crappy scope at dusk, where if you had something higher quality, now you can still make an ethical shot. Now,
what is the old saying that you spend twice as much on the scope as you do the rifle? Is it twice as much, or what's that? They kind of say that general rule, if you're really going to go into it and you want to start doing really long distance but really quality stuff, they say, I think someone said you spend like twice as much on the optic than you do on the rifle. So if you're spending $1,000, $1,200 on the rifle, you're going to spend $2,500 on your scope.
Yeah, I think it was an optics company that started that rumor, just like De Beers started the whole, you should spend, whatever percentage of your annual salary on
Jeff,
that engagement ring.
Jeff ruins everything.
Yep.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah. So let's see. I wanted to address a comment here. Let's just dig into opinion here. What do you guys think when we come out of this? I'm assuming we're talking about the shit show that is the national shutdown. How do you see the country going? Randall, I just saw a reaction. I saw emotion on your face. What's going to happen when we come out of this?
I don't know.
Okay, insightful. Thank you. Anyone else?
That's another grind my gears thing. You don't want me to get started. You better go ahead and go to Trey. Go.
Yeah.
No, you don't want me to go there.
Yeah, I don't. That's a whole series.
I already think that people are batshit crazy. So
Yeah,
I think that people have lost their minds a week into this, like of March. You're just like, these people have lost their damn minds.
I agree. So I was at the license plate office today. I had to get.
So they're essential.
I'm like Jekyll and Hyde. You know, I've got the Humvee, but then I also have the Prius, and I picked up another Prius.
So what I want to know is, since you got the second Prius, are you going to do a Humvee versus Prius video on the old Prius? That would be fun.
No, well,
okay.
So someone in here needs a car to drive himself to work here.
Randall, it'd be so much cooler if it was been run over by a Humvee. Just saying.
Yeah. So while I was there at the DMV, you're supposed to protest that, son. Come on, son.
I don't know what he said.
Yeah.
Well, no one
just nod your head.
It's all good.
But the woman at DMV was actually saying, "Oh, I got a theory here. This whole disease, this whole virus thing, it's going to evaporate come the end of November. As soon as the election's over, it'll be gone." I was like, "All right." She had it, and the woman beside her working, you know, they had a big divider in front of her and on the side. She was surrounded in plexiglass. It was like she's in the penalty box, right? So that's the one beside her, the one that I was talking to, and she's like, I think she may have had gloves to hand the papers back and forth. The one in front of me, no mask, no gloves. She had a big hole cut out in her plexiglass so you could still talk. And it was like, yeah, this is crap, you know? And I was like, you go, sister, because I believe it's crap also. Absolute crap. So how are we going to come out of it? I think we're going to limp out of it, maybe even crawl.
And thinking really slow.
Yeah, so I'm actually terrified as to how we're going to come out of it. I don't know. I think the idea that we could just come out of it and get back to normal, I think we're going to try to, but there's so many people out of work that maybe even haven't. I think a lot of them are in denial. They're like, I'm still getting a little bit of a government check. As soon as they let us, I'm going to go back to work. Everything will be good. And then they're going to say, okay, lockdown's over. And they'll be like, oh, where'd my job go? What do you mean the company's not there anymore? Or they had to cut half of the workforce? And what do I do now? You know, that's what I think is going to happen.
On a positive side, I do think it's going to be interesting to see how these corporations and companies, whether it's just a major corporation or it's a restaurant or whatever, these businesses, how they have done throughout this shutdown. Many restaurants never did delivery or carry out orders. Now they're starting to realize, oh, like this is a thing. So when we open back up, do we still continue to do delivery or carry out? On the flip side, you have these major corporations that have realized that their employees are getting the job done while at home. So instead of buying the 100,000 square foot building for the office, maybe we buy the 25,000 square foot building for the office and allow the employees to work from home. instead of buying this monster of a building, we buy them a laptop and a webcam, save a shit ton of money. So I think what's going to happen is I think the business plans of a lot of companies and businesses are going to change because they're forced to do something differently during the shutdown. They realize, well, this can work even when we open back up, maybe. So it'll be interesting to see if that happens or not.
Yeah, I agree. We'll see how it works. I think it's definitely culture shock for a lot of people. And I've been working from home for over a decade, so it's kind of old hat for me, but I'm definitely seeing
people around you. So now you're just people infringing upon your office,
Ain't that the truth? I mean, but I love them, so it's okay.
Yeah.
Well, so I like what Budget's saying about the vote by mail. There is actually a push about being able to log in with your social security number and being able to vote via internet, which is an interesting concept. Not that won't ever get hacked or anything, Chicago will have 7 million citizens registering to vote under their social security numbers again.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think at this point, let's get off the political side because I'm about to go way off the rail, and we don't need that. So
I have enjoyed your Facebook feed. Just saying, I've enjoyed it. It's been comical.
Yeah. Did you notice the last couple days?
You've been nice. You've been a nice boy.
I looked at Facebook a couple times yesterday, a couple times today. Only made one comment on something today, and have been pleased not to look at it anymore. Now I'm like, I don't even want to go back and look at it at all. Like, I'm done. I just don't want to touch it. So we'll see. No.
So you missed my post on Facebook then about the 2009 our how 2020 is going now, right? So we went from COVID-19 to murder hornets, and
I saw that one.
And now we got locusts. So
yeah,
the cicadas are back.
It's Armageddon, man.
I mean, I'm just saying, Jesus may be coming soon.
Mm-hmm.
Some people believe in the 7 seals. We believe in like the 7 flying objects. So just saying.
Yeah.
So JMA's gym is closed, and that is something that I know is impacting a lot of people. Most people that go to gyms are I think struggling now with where's their outlet, the stress relief, and that's kind of tough. So I feel for anyone who's in that.
There's a good chance that a lot of people put on the COVID-19, 19 pounds.
Yeah. Yep. Could be. So I keep trying to get my kids a workout. Like I cut some trees down, and they're hauling all the tree parts out to the road. So yeah, it's just me trying to do my part and think of my kids,
Randall, he's just thinking of your health and well-being. That's all he's trying to do. If you happen to get some stuff done around the house in return, so be it.
Earthquakes. See, I didn't hear about that.
I did not know.
In Nevada, I think that is without the weight of all the people in Las Vegas, it's rising. Just like if a swimming pool doesn't have enough water in it, it can float. I think that's kind of what's happening with Vegas.
What's going to happen with all the aliens? If there's an earthquake at Area 51, what happens to the aliens?
I don't know. But, this is kind of one of my concerns as well. I'm not sure we will reopen. The idea that people are going to want some sort of perpetual restriction, that the 6-foot rule is always going to be in place, and all of this nonsense. I have been looking forward to talking about we may not reopen. Something that I'm really concerned about. My kids all swim, But during that for me has always been wrestling season. So I help coach a high school wrestling team, and
5 years.
I'm thinking, what's that?
I read that they're thinking of not opening for like 5 years, right?
What?
I hope not. I had heard though that one of the counties in North Carolina was talking about like the next school year being academic only, no clubs, no sports, no nothing. You come, you go do your classes, you go home. And I'm like, wait a second. Wrestling, think about all the sports out there. Wrestling is the most likely to get sick if there's something being passed around. And that's why we sanitize the mats, and everyone, you don't wear the clothes to practice multiple days in a row. But I'm like literally concerned that we are likely to not have wrestling season this coming year. If they put it off too long, I'm in trouble because I'm getting old. I can still get out there and whoop up on these kids now, but how many more years do I have? Not many.
Now, I will say this. If Andrew continues to wear the sombrero, he's going to need the 6-foot rule at all times. That's a big sombrero he's wearing.
Yeah. That's like an automatic 6 foot.
I mean, maybe that's what he was doing.
Yeah. Yeah, I suspect so.
That's my deep thought. If
So,
you wear a sombrero, have you been practicing social distancing your whole life? Maybe the Mexicans, they've got it right. They've got it going on. They understand what's going on with that.
So a question here for people not in North Carolina. North Carolina has implemented some rules about stores. There are capacity rules. Like I was walking in Walmart today, the door I always go in, they have someone guarding the door. And I about blew right past them because I'm walking in and I didn't need a cart, so I didn't need to stop and talk to anyone. Sir, you can't go in here. Like, what are you talking about? I always come in here. No, this is an exit. You have to go to the other end because we have to monitor the density of customers in the store. Like, she just called me dense. But that was kind of annoying. And I as I'm walking, I started to just say, what the? And I said, you know what? You're just doing what you're told. This is ridiculous, but I'm not gonna blame you. I went in the other door, and there wasn't a line or anything. It's like I just had to go because that's what they told me to do. Very annoyed.
Yeah, I tell you one thing, and I was talking about it with someone. I don't remember who it was, but they were very upset about it, and I didn't think about it, but it makes sense. So in our town, we have a lot of mom and pop, privately owned small business shops, and they've all had to shut down. And we're talking the people that sell clothes and all that stuff. But Walmart gets to stay open because they sell toilet paper.
In theory,
you can buy the clothes at Walmart, but they're able to stay open because they're essential. But the mom and pop stores that don't sell the toilet paper have to close down.
Yeah.
It's very interesting.
So when are the mom and pop stores going to just start carrying something so that they're essential now? I mean, wouldn't that be the easy thing is, yep, we carry toilet paper or something.
Toilet paper and some canned goods,
Right. Yeah. Or car parts. I mean, there are a number of different categories that they've called essential. You'd think if they carry a couple products from one of those categories, then it's like, hey, now we can open.
Yeah. Now, something that you would be interested in Arkansas, we've been open for about a week or two, as far as like restaurants have been open for about a week or two, as far as 33% occupancy in phase 1. And a couple of days ago, hotels could open up, but you can't have a full, you could have X amount of your occupancy rate. But if like you rent a room, that same room can't be rented for 3 days again. So like I rent a room and I stay forever, however many days that like I rent that room. If it's 1 day, that room can't be rented for another day. If I stay for 2 nights, you have to wait 2 days before you rent that room to someone else. Anyways, whatever. But today, so our state parks and campgrounds were, at first it was day only, no overnight stays. Then a couple weeks ago, it opened up to overnight stays if you're a state resident of Arkansas. Today, the state parks opened up for outside travelers and all of that, campgrounds and state parks. So we're open. We're open for business.
That's good.
Yeah.
All right. Anyone else have deep thoughts before we wrap this up? We've gone almost an hour and a half here. Any more questions, comments, anything folks out in the chat want to talk about? Did I catch, you know what? I saw one. I don't remember if I clicked on it or not. Where is it? There it is. This is something that I'm always happy to see. When people are trapped at home, so many people, and another reason I'm happy to get away from Facebook and social media, so many people whining about, I've burned through Netflix. What else can I watch? I need something to do. I'm bored out of my skull. You know what? This is a freebie. Harvard has free classes that you can go take. Go do something to improve yourself and your situation. And, if you're not essential, why don't you use this time to figure out how to do something where you will be essential so you can work instead of sitting at home. JMA's taking gunsmith classes to make some money. That's awesome. I think that is a great example, and I would love to see more people getting out and doing something. So Harvard has those classes you can take, a whole bunch, and you get a certificate from Harvard. So what else have you guys seen, ideas for constructive things that we can do? And Toby he's got to check out. So thanks for showing up. We appreciate you. Anything you want to say before you go? You want to give your little parting speech?
Just thanks for the invite. All my social media can be found at miningridgearmory.com. I recently changed, I have to give a public apology, I suppose. I recently changed my YouTube channel to a brand account, which means that apparently every comment I have ever made, ever has been deleted now because my YouTube account doesn't exist. And so it migrated everything except my comments. Apparently that's a thing. So wow. Yeah. So public apology for anybody who's asked me questions and I've answered, like on that Elite SC video and so on. They're all gone apparently. So wow. Yay me. But at any rate, yeah. Thanks YouTube for helping. So anyways, thanks for the invite. Keep an eye on Gear-Report.com for all the reviews I got coming up, and miningridgearmory.com.
Yeah, you had something that I think I scheduled it for tomorrow morning, right?
Probably, who knows? Yeah. I got so much, I don't know. I went from nothing to now I've got like way too much. Trey, you with your Santa hat.
It is. It seriously looks like a Santa hat.
It totally looks like a Santa hat. Oh, that's better. All right, gentlemen, good weekend.
Right. Thank you. All right, where did it go? I need to change this here. There we go. We'll move it back to shooting so we can wrap things up. All right. Anything else you want to talk about, Trey?
I'm good.
Okay. So Buck built some flower beds and for my wife so I can get the charger. That sounds like a pretty good arrangement, do some manual labor and you're able to buy things. That's good. But that brings up something else with the potential food shortages that were, earlier where you had trouble getting stuff at the store, and, who knows when the supply chain is going to break down with so many people not working. We've been spending time at my house tilling up ground in the yard and planting food plants of various different types. So, yeah.
You have a beef tree? Because we're out of beef around here.
A beef tree?
We're at like you go to Walmart and there's like no beef of any kind. You eat ground beef, stew meat, no beef at all. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Say Simplify, bro.
We are short on, especially beef. Pork's a little bit more plentiful, but all types of meat except anything made from turkey. So I saw a bunch of turkey ham, turkey bacon. There's turkey bacon all over the place.
But would there still turkeys?
What's that?
But would there still turkeys? I feel like turkeys a lot of turkey products are not well designed. But I figure people would just grab giant
Well,
turkey.
you gotta think that at some point they're going to be out of meat of every other type, and people will be like, well, I guess this is better than nothing.
I like turkey, and my wife does not like turkey, but I'm the only one in my family that actually does like turkey. Like we do a ham for Thanksgiving typically because I'll be the only one that eats the turkey. But
I think turkey's better.
Yeah, hook you up. You know, I'm all for like the black market beef, but you know, hey,
Yeah, he knows a guy. Yeah, yeah. You know, cattle fall off trucks too. Just saying.
True that.
Yep. All right, Randall. Any parting thoughts?
I did have one. I saw that somebody. Did my volume just? I saw that somebody.
Cutting you off. I was going to tell you. I put you on the spot, and then I realized this is your first show. No one told you that what we do at the end is typically people give a little plug for what they have coming. But anything you want to talk about before we get?
All right, I have very little coming. I have a couple of stuff I do want to review, but we can talk about that later. Like stuff I have here.
Yeah. Okay, that'll be good.
There's a comment.
Randall, don't let him shut you up. You say what you want to say, young man.
Well, I'm looking for a comment. I don't see it, but somebody said that their I think it was their fourth grade where their kid school had it so that once a week they'd go to school, like kindergarten and stuff.
Yep, I found it.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I found that to be very interesting.
Yeah,
I don't think my school would do that. Like if they like every class they split it up, maybe so like 3 people per room, but I don't think my school would do that based on how they're acting so far.
Well, your school at a high school level where you're going to different classes each period, it's different than grade school where they could say first grade. You know, like a typical elementary school is 1st through 5th grade. So each day they could have a different grade come in, and there's typically not going to be a lot of overlap. That could actually work. I don't understand what the point of that would be. But,
yeah, because those kids in grade school, elementary school, whatever you want to call it, they're in one classroom. They only have one teacher. So it's not like, I mean, there's social distancing from every other class in the school. Close the door. I don't know. It's interesting. I never heard that one before, though.
Yeah, I can see where conveniently for an elementary school with 5 grades that would work out, but I don't understand necessarily the logic. But and you know, you could even say if only like a fifth of the school plus administrative staff is there, you know, maybe you've only got a third of the people in the building each day. That's better for social distancing, but you know that is kind of dependent on social distancing being worthwhile and meaningful, which I don't happen to think it is. So
you also have to keep it. And this is the last soapbox. I'm sorry, this is the last soapbox I'll go down. But people tend to forget that the way we build up our immune system and antibodies is to exposing ourselves to bacteria and other things, especially a 5, 6, 7, 8-year-old child. That's how they build their immune system up. If you continue to put them in a bubble and shelter them, then you're going to put them in a position where when they do get older, they're going to get sick. That's anytime they walk out of the house. So, you know, there's something about getting people out and getting infected with, you know, colds and the flu and getting bacteria through your system to where your body naturally learns how to fight it. I'm just saying. Sorry.
Yeah, this is a discussion that we actually like just had like yesterday where we were saying the exact same things you were saying now.
Yeah. All right. Well, Trey, any parting thoughts?
Get to the range, be more proficient, be safe, have fun, be on the outlook for anyone who seems to be having the cabin fever blues that might not be able to handle that. Talk to them. There are a lot of people that are at home right now, maybe that live by themselves. They've been quarantined, and you never know how people are going to react to that. So if you see someone that's acting a little bit, down or whatever, reach out to them, say hello, let them know they still got a friend.
Yeah. That's a great bit of information. Parting thought. Okay, and people in the chat, feel free. And I apologize, this just hit me. Something I heard this morning and was like, holy smokes! And I went and listened to some interviews today, and I am not sure I'm happy about this. Although I was initially like, oh my gosh, this is great. Did everyone see the video of Mike Tyson saying he's back and he's going to box and looking like an absolute beast, tearing up like someone throwing punches?
Wait.
I have not seen that video, but I heard it was badass. Like, I heard people talking about it, and they said that he looks really good. What, 55 years old or something like that?
50 something. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, if he can handle it, that's awesome. Because he looked
good. I'd watch it. You bring back Buster Douglas at 50 something. I'd like to see Tyson Douglas or a Tyson Holyfield. I mean, seriously, if Holyfield,
I heard Holyfield recently came out of retirement also. So we'll see.
Tyson fight.
Yeah. But the reason that I have mixed feelings about it is, it sounds like it'd be awesome to see him fight. And it's going to be worth watching because either it's going to be a friggin' train wreck or he's going to destroy someone. Yeah. But I don't think there's any other option. I think it's either going to be wholesale train wreck or he just mauls someone.
I would say if you're going to have a fight with Tyson, I mean, and I don't know, but at 50 years old, he's not going to go 12 rounds. So it's going to have to be something like a 3-round or a 5-round fight. But who knows? I mean, he looks good. I haven't seen it, but I've heard it looks really, really good in that 20-second video. But can he go 4 or 5 rounds? He may not have to. Like you said, it might take another, Michael Spinks 20 seconds knockout, but I'd pay to watch it. I mean, if I believe that he's actually, in the way he looks, apparently is good, but I'd pay to watch it. I'm not going to lie. I'd pay to watch it.
Yep. So the only reason that I was initially excited and then I got kind of reflective and upset was watching an interview with Joe Rogan last January, I think, where Tyson was talking about how his ego got the best of him and it was incredibly destructive for him. He's like, when I don't want to go back to fighting because the person that it made me, the ego you have to compete at that level and what it brings out in me is not good. So then to hear him say that a year and a half ago and then say, oh yeah, I'm back. And I was like, oh dude, you got your life together and now you're going to do this. And but we'll see.
I would have to think, and I might be wrong. I haven't seen or heard the interview or anything like that. I would have to imagine that he's doing this because he's got that drive and he's got that competitiveness. I can't honestly, to have the ego that he's talking about is to be the unified heavyweight champion of the world, like the king of the hill. I can't imagine that he honestly is coming back to say, I'm going after all 3 of the belts. I want to be the unified heavyweight champ. Maybe he is, but maybe he's just doing it to fill that competition in his life. But if he is coming back thinking that he could be the heavyweight champ again, honest to God, I mean, I like boxing. I don't follow boxing, but I enjoy boxing. But since Tyson, Holyfield, Lennox Lewis era, can you name any heavyweight champion? I can't.
Oh, I can't.
That era was, for people our age, that era was amazing. We had some of the all-time greats, and I for the last 20 years, I couldn't tell you a boxer, at least in the heavyweight division.
Yeah, I got no idea.
He is probably broke. I mean, I imagine the dude had like 4 tigers. You know,
Yep.
feeding those things.
Yep. So, all right.
I don't know.
Oh, right. Yeah, and what is it called? Tyson. Was it Tyson Farm? Tyson Ranch. I think it's Tyson Ranch. Maybe is what it's called. That he was talking about, and Andrew says he's making good money on his pot farm, but it wasn't open yet in the interview he did with Joe Rogan last year. But he was talking about, not just being a place to buy it, but like a destination for people to go.
So a resort almost.
Say again.
Like a resort or something.
Yeah. Exactly. So who knows? I mean, when I think Mike Tyson, I think pot resort.
That's what I
stick
think.
with his key audience, right? All right. Well, thanks guys for sticking around. Trey and Randall, we're at an hour and 40 minutes. We've still got 5 people left. So I worry a bit about their social lives that they could burn this much time with us. I hope we've made it at least partially worthwhile for you. So thank you, everyone who is still out there. We really appreciate you, Andrew, Nighthog, and Buck, and Budget, and anyone else. I know G Webs was out there. I think JMA checked out a little while ago. So everyone, thank you. And Toby and Chris for the portion of the show they were able to stay with us. So we really appreciate it. We're still planning on continuing this for the time being as a weekly this week at Gear Report. So that means next Friday at 8 p.m. in the time zone, which would be Eastern time zone. We'll be here.
Hashtag fake news.
Fake news. Yep, it could be. But anyhow, we'll see you then. And thanks again for spending a little time with us. Until next time, we'll see you at the range.